So today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new case from Benks, and this is their vintage leather case. Now, this is a vegan leather case. I know the name may be a little bit confusing where it says vintage leather, so you think it's, leather, but it is vegan leather. So that is something to note about this case. But I have been using this for a few days, so let's go ahead and check it out. And a huge shout out to Benks for sending this out to me to review for you guys, so thank you very much for that. Now it says right here, phone case protective, full covered protection, precision hold position, and tough and anti-drop. So on the back, you get a little bit more information here. It says scratch resistance, no fear of bump, excellent drop resistance, thin and lightweight, skin-friendly texture, and precise cutouts. So that's pretty much all you get with the packaging. And let's go ahead and open it up and take a look at the case. We'll set that to the side and nothing else except just this little printed iPhone right here. So nice little packaging by Benks. We'll set this off to the side. Let's take a look at the case. Now on the back of it, it does have a little bit of a leather feel, but you can definitely tell the difference between feeling this versus feeling a real full grain leather case. So that is definitely something to note. Right here, you do have a metal camera ring, and I like the color of this. So this does come in a black, in a gray, and a brown with different accents for the camera ring. This one is the gray with this kind of like champagne colored accents on the buttons, and the back of the camera ring looks pretty good. I like the way that this looks. So nice little, branding right there. I do wish we didn't have the branding, but that's all right. Small branding, it says Benks right down there. And taking a look at the inside of the case, the first thing I noticed was that this texture right here kind of is like a sort of a felt material, but also very much feels like the back of the fine woven case from Apple. So that is something right there. It will protect the back of your phone, and you do get your MagSafe ring right there. One thing about Benks is they've always got really good MagSafe, so we'll go ahead and test that out shortly. But going around the sides, you just get this same vegan leather material that goes all the way around. Now, on the buttons, you have this kind of similar material to the inside of the case on each of the buttons, as well as the power button right there. So before we go ahead and put our phone in here, let's go ahead and weigh this. So we'll turn on our scale and set this over to grams real quick. There we go. So the weight of this one is 40 grams. So not too light, not too heavy, and nice, about, the same weight as a lot of other leather cases. For example, the Aspen and the Bullstrap are 37 grams, so a little bit heavier than those, not too bad. So let's go ahead and set this off to the side, and we'll take our black titanium 15 Pro Max, and we'll slap it into the case. Now let's listen out for that click. Pretty decent click into the phone case, about the same as most other leather cases. It's not plastic or polycarbonate or anything, so it's not going to have that nice click onto there, but it is a secure fit, and one thing about this case is it is on there. So let's listen to how those corners sound. We'll start off with this one. The third one, and the fourth corner. So they're on there really tightly. This case is actually a little bit difficult to take off. Not nearly as hard as some of the other cases that are plastic, or, the Benks Armor Air from last year was really hard to take off. But this one's not too bad. It's on there very, very tightly, very tight fit. It's on there securely, but it is a little bit difficult to take off. So I do wish that was a little bit easier, but that just shows that if you do drop it or anything happens, this thing's not going to come off of your phone, which is great. So taking a look around the sides of the case, on the top it is completely closed in. On the left-hand side, you do have your action button, volume up and down, and these are nice clicky buttons, but there's one issue that I do have with the buttons that we'll take a look at here in a second. Now let's listen to how they sound first. Decent click on the buttons. They are pretty clicky except for the action button, and we'll talk about why in a second. Now on the bottom, you do have your accurate microphone and speaker cutouts, as well as your USB Type-C port. Now one thing about the USB-C port is with your thicker head cables, it may be a little bit difficult to put a cable in there. Now I have been using this with my Anchor cables, and I've been using it for a couple days, and it's just like if you take a look at this cable, it's a little bit thicker. It barely fits in there. Now it's not open, but it barely fits in there. So I do wish that this USB Type-C port was a little bit more open. That way the thicker head cables would fit in there. And on the right-hand side, it is completely closed in, and you have your power button right there. Now, going back to this side, if you guys can see that, I'm not sure, maybe it might be easier to see this way, but if you can see, the volume up and down buttons are a little bit off center and also a little bit crooked. And that is something that bothers me a little bit. When I saw that, I was like, the top one, it's kind of slanted like this, and this one is almost slanted like that. It's not too crazy, but you can kind of see it. Maybe you guys can see that on camera. And then the action button is a little bit off of alignment with the actual action button on the phone. So there's really not a pronounced click on it as there is with the volume up and down buttons. Now, it doesn't, malfunction or anything like that. It works every time you click it. It works. You can feel the response and everything, but it's a little bit off center of the button, so it's not as pronounced of a click as the volume up and down. I just wish that Benks would take care of this. If you guys are watching this from Benks, make these, a little bit, so first of all, they're a little bit off center from the direct center of the phone. They're a little bit this way. So I would like to see them more so centered and also straight rather than having that little slant to them. But, that's just nitpicking. You got to really look out for it to see it. So that is something that I did want to mention about this case. Now, moving along to how this feels in the hand, and it feels really good in the hand, except for the fact that it's a little bit slippery. Now, I'm not sure if it's just because of that vintage leather, so it doesn't really, do anything with your finger oils or anything like that to where you can really get that nice grip on it like you could on another leather case. But that's one thing, just I wish this had a little bit better grip to it. I don't know, maybe some divots on the sides or a little bit of more texture on the sides of it. But other than that, it feels good in the hand to hold. It's very comfortable to hold. If you hold it down here for longer periods of time, it doesn't, dig into your pinky or anything like that. Very nice, smooth bottom on here. I just do wish that it was a little bit less slippery. Now, let's go ahead and move over to our MagSafe test. We'll bring over the Apple MagSafe wallet. Slap that on. We get our animation. And let's see. I don't believe this has an alignment magnet. Let's check it out. No, so no alignment magnet even built into the case. It's just your main MagSafe magnet. And let's give it that little pocket test, and it is going to be coming off of there. Now, again, that's just not because of necessarily the MagSafe strength. The MagSafe strength is pretty good on here. It's more so because of this slippery vegan leather material on leather. So your leather wallet or your fine woven wallet will slip off of here if you give it that slight, movement. Now, moving along to our Apple MagSafe battery pack, slap that on, we get our animation. And on here, I'm really confident with these magnets. You can really sit here and shake it. Now I'm shaking it and shaking it, and it's not coming off. So good MagSafe strength on here, especially with this silicone base of the Apple MagSafe battery pack. When it's on there, it's on there. You do have to kind of push that off for it to come off of there. And finally, moving along to our Anchor 623, we'll go ahead and set this on here, and let's see. Yeah, it's definitely picking it up. You gotta give it a little bit of a shake for it to come off, but it is picking the base up with no issues. Now, moving along to our 360-degree rotation test, you can definitely sit here, rotate this with no issues, and it's not gonna come off of your mount. Now, when you're using it in portrait mode, you can definitely sit here, tap around the screen, or in landscape mode, no issues whatsoever. Everything does work just fine on there. It picks it up, so really, really good MagSafe strength on this case. So let's take a look at that camera and screen protection. Now, on the camera lenses, we do have a nice proper camera lip on there, so you can definitely feel free to set this down. No issues worrying about anything scratching it up on the surface. And for your screen, I am using a tempered glass screen protector, and you still get a little bit of a lip right there. So you can send this down on kind of more so flat surfaces without worrying about it scratching up your screen or your screen protector. So that is nice about the case. Now, do I recommend this case? And for the price on it, this case is 20 bucks. So, if you're looking for that leather look without paying those kind of leather prices, yeah, I can definitely recommend it. I just wish that Benks would fix the alignment of these buttons and give it a little bit more texture, as it's just a little bit too slippery for me. But, you know, after using it for a while, you kind of get used to the grip on it, and it doesn't really become too bad. It hasn't slipped out of my pocket or anything like that, which is great. You know, if you're wearing sweatpants or anything, you don't have to worry about it because it does give you just enough grip to keep it in your pockets. But I do wish that when it was in the hand, it was just a little bit more grippy. There you go. Little drop test right there, just to show, you know, like I said, just a little bit more grip on here. And I think this would be an excellent option for a vegan leather case. It looks really good. It looks great on pretty much any of the iPhones. On the black titanium, looks very nice. I really like the way that this looks. Just those few key details, and for 20 bucks, this thing would be killer for a vegan leather case. So let me know what you guys think about this. And I do have a discount code to save you guys some money that I'll leave in the description below, and I'll also pop it up right here. Now, if you're interested in some full grain leather options, I'll pop a video up right there. And in the meantime, make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.